Brian had it, or Flynn put it through the school system. My wife teaches, and she's been lecturing her students about safety, so I just want to thank you for putting that out there, so. Good. That's all, I just want to give my 2 cents on that. Good.
I don't have anything for employee contracts, insurance. Personnel, I see that we have a few appointments tonight. Rec?
So rec meeting was on the 12th. The ice came out on the 27th, and like I said, it came out easier than it ever has, so that saved a lot of time. Upcoming projects are venting the roof, repaving the beach parking lot, which they'll do in the fall, and the mold remediation, which is scheduled for the end of July and will go through the end of September. They had 5 contractors submit bids, and they did decide on one during that meeting. Indoor lacrosse is underway, and they'll have games in July, which they'll open concession for, so that'll be good for that. Soccer signups are posted. They will begin June 1st. They'll be $55 in person and $58 online. We generally have around 500 participants for that, and that runs August through September, August and September. They held the Ted Cod annual fishing tournament from 9 to 12 last Saturday. They said that you have approximately 45 to 50 kids for that. Softball has started. They have teams every day except Saturday, which is for tournament days. And they don't do concession for that anymore because they found it wasn't beneficial. The beach will open Memorial Day for picnic purposes, and the water will open as needed dependent on weather. Alcoa did make an announcement for a $20,000 gift over a 3-year period for Alcoa Park. And the plans for that money is a new roof on the building, surface the playground with rubber mulch, and they'll repair the fence at the tennis court. And Mike is reviewing into grants for new playground equipment. So a lot going on at the park as usual.
Great. Thank you. On to our first initial public comment period. Anyone wanting to address the board, please state your name, address, fire away. Yes, sir.
My name's Kevin Trippany. I am a homeowner at 19 King Street, over by St. Joseph's Church. I've been talking with code enforcement since November of 2023 on 17 King Street. It's been abandoned for about 3 years now. They talked to him, the owner, I believe at this board meeting on November of 2023 or December of 2023, one of those two, I can't remember what it was, and told him that he had holes in the roofs, open windows, stuff like that, and he needed to bring it up to code. He elected not to do anything. He did call me that night of the meeting and asked me if I'd be willing to buy it, which I had been after him for the last couple of years to sell it to me. Unfortunately, with the restrictions for New York State and the village, it would cost me roughly to tear it down and have a vacant lot $65,000. It's not worth $65,000 to me. And I'd have to turn around and put a $80,000 or $100,000 garage up on it, which is what I wanted to do. So I elected to not buy it. Now what I'm facing is there's pigeons, probably between 2 and 3 dozen living in it. The windows are broke out in front of the house. I've got pictures I'd like to show you all so you can see it. There's squirrels living in it. There's blackbirds living in it. There's sparrows living in it. There's groundhogs and skunks in the backyard. I cannot go out on my deck without being defecated on by pigeons flying over. I've had to put aluminum tin up across my pool in 2 different areas to keep them out of my pool. I've got an owl that's out there trying to keep them away. Nothing's working, and I am fed up with it. I've cleaned my siding on my house twice already this year. I clean my deck every 3 to 4 days. Something has to be done. What I talked to the code enforcement back last year, they told me that they gave them the 6 months, and then they would go and move forward with demolition. It's been over a year now, and I haven't heard anything at all.
We gave him, we sent a letter, I think, giving him one more chance, and obviously he's not going to respond, so the next step is going to be, the next step is.
I take pride in the ownership of my property, and a lot of the residents around there thank me for it. And it's just sad to see that. From what the fire department guys or code enforcement, when they came multiple times for smoke alarms that were going off in the middle of the night over there, they went in, everything is falling down inside, the back roof is starting to cave in, you'll see it in those pictures. it's just a mess, okay? And, I'd love to buy the property and, you know, if it was be torn down, but I just can't, I'm not gonna spend $65,000 to do it. You know? And that was for the asbestos, survey and asbestos abatement. I know it has asbestos in it, I've seen it, it's all over the forest air duct runs. So I know it's in there, and mine was too, I had to abate mine years ago. And then, you know, the cost of tearing it down and everything like that, so. Not only do they have this property here, I'd like to show you the one that's next door to them, which is 15 King Street. And this one here, what I said was, failed to mention was, the code enforcement and the fire department told me that it was deemed uninhabitable.
Right.
Okay? If you look at the pictures I got from the one next door to it, 15 King Street, that one, the roof is completely caved in on it, and they're living in it with grandkids and everything in that house daily.
Is it this one here?
Yes. And then beside me, over on Bailey Road, there's a garage that is completely, the roof is completely pulled in, and there's squirrels, birds, and everything living in that one. It's surrounding me on all three sides, and it's, I don't know how much more I can take.
People live in this house?
Yes, ma'am. What I was been told,
And this
I don't know how
garbage
true it
here?
is, I was told that they got tarps up in their bedroom to collect all the water and send it to the sides of the room when it rains. How somebody can live in that place as compared to the one next to me, I can't figure it out. And I have talked to the people before about this one.
This
So-
is 17, Kevin? This is-
That one is 17.
You mind if I put 17 on?
You can keep the pictures. So what I'd like to know is, what are the next steps? You know, they talked about boarding it up, which I'm fine with. But what is the long-term goal? When would we take action to have it demolished or whatever?
We'd have to bid it out. We already did the unsafe building, property hearing. We'd have to bid out the property, or the demo, and go from there.
So is it something that would happen in 2026?
We would probably, quickest we could go pass a resolution and do bids would be next board meeting, correct?
Yes.
So
To
we
authorize them to go out.
Authorized to go out to bids would come back in July, hopefully they could have it done before the snow falls.
Has code been called on number 15?
I'm not 100% sure, not by me. Not by me. I heard that they've been there or know about it, but that's hearsay.
But you don't know.
I don't know for sure.
And there's children living in there?
There's grandkids that are there often. I don't know if they live there, but they're there during, you know, the afternoon evenings. No matter what, whether it's kids or adults, that's not safe.
I agree. I was just asking.
We'll have code be there tomorrow.
How soon can I see something on 17 to get the holes? If you look on those pictures, Mayor, you'll see that in the corners I've circled where there's two squirrels looking out. That's on every single corner of the house. There's holes there where they're going in and out of it.
Kevin, if we're going to tear it down, I'm not sure.
I don't want to have to live there all summer with this. I'm not kidding you, Greg. You got to come over and look at it. There's 2 to 3 dozen pigeons flying around there all day long.
Steve, can we take a look at it and see if,
Yeah, I've seen that property, that's one thing that maybe can handle, that is, if you want to board up the roof, that is a roof, and that roof's not safe for us. Is it a possibility to hire an exterminator to?
It wouldn't make sense if it's still all exposed to the
They'll just go
elements.
back in, won't they?
Kevin, I wish I had an answer for you right now.
I know, I wasn't expecting an answer right now, but I really like one now, is what I really like. You know, within the next few weeks to a month, tell me what's going to happen.
Okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll start the bid process, that I can tell you that'll happen at the next board meeting. In the meantime, how we do something up there, let me ask around and see if there's someone that, you know, it's,
I know at Alcoa, we bring in the DEC to shoot the pigeons. I don't know if that's an option or not.
I know, it was a joke. Let me do that, let me call the DEC and see if they'll do anything.
Like I say, I know they come into the plant, so,
Yeah, okay.
but in an industrial, in a location, rather than being out in the open here, you know. Okay, that's what I have anyways.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks.
for the time.
Thank you for your patience.
Yes, and thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Old business, I don't have any. We do have a list of resolutions to go through, and it's really just kind of housekeeping for the new year, so it's. First up is a resolution for authorizing intermunicipal cooperation agreement with the town of Brazier. Moved by trustee Gowan, second. Second by trustee Simpson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next up, need a motion to authorize intermunicipal cooperation agreement with the town of Norfolk.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Simpson, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Peets. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next up, authorize an intermunicipal cooperation agreement with the town of Massena. Moved by trustee Broadbent, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Peets. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Authorize intermunicipal cooperation agreement with the town of Louisville.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Simpson, second by trustee Peets. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next up, I'll entertain a motion to declare surplus and authorize the sale of a surplus 2009 International Recycle Truck.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Broadbent, second by trustee Simpson. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We obviously got our new one in.
No, this truck, has been parked for about 3 years.
Oh, gotcha. Next up, a proposed resolution to re-levy the village taxes. Moved by trustee Broadbent, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Simpson. This is to re-levy unpaid sewer charges, roughly $247,000 plus penalties, totaling $1 million for re-levy on tax roll. It's a roll call vote. Trustee Peets,
Aye.
trustee Broadbent,
Aye.
trustee McGowan,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Next up, proposed resolution to adopt the tax warrant for the fiscal year 26-27. Moved by trustee Broadbent, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Peets. Tax warrant totals $7,817,461.14. It's a roll call vote. Trustee Peets,
Aye.
trustee Broadbent, trustee McGowan,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Next up, proposed resolution to adopt the mileage allowance during the fiscal year 26-27.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Simpson, second.
Second.
Second by trustee McGowan.
Present?
What is the rate this year?
Uh,
We go by the federal rate, right?
Yes. No. It went up, 2 cents, I looked at, no,
January.
It only goes up in January, once per year, right?
yeah.
Anyway, it's a roll call vote. Trustee Peets,
Aye.
trustee Broadbent,
Aye.
trustee McGowan,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Next up, proposed resolution to allow for attendance at schools and conferences during the fiscal year of 26-27.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Simpson, second. Second by trustee Broadbent. It's a roll call vote. Trustee Peets,
Aye.
trustee Broadbent,
Aye.
trustee McGowan,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Next up, proposed resolution to advance the approval of claims during the fiscal year 26-27.
So moved.
I'm sorry, trustee Simpson.
We're all-
Trustee
We're
McGowan.
waiting.
Let's stay here all night. It's a roll call vote. Trustee Peets,
Aye.
trustee Broadbent,
Aye.
trustee McGowan,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Next up, proposed resolution to adopt the procurement policy for the fiscal year 26-27.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Pete, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Brown. This too is a roll call. Trustee Pete,
Aye.
trustee Broadbent,
Aye.
trustee McGowan,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
and I. Next up, I need a motion for the appointment of Jay Taylor as the Rescue Squad Administrator, part-time position, effective June 1, 2026.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Pete, second.
Second.
Second by trustee McGowan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I abstain.
Abstained by Mr. Simpson. They're cousins. Next up, the appointment, need a motion for the appointment of Andrew Johnson as the fire driver fighter.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Simpson, second.
Second.
Second by trustee McGowan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next up, a proposed resolution to authorize the bond resolution for the reconstruction of the, hold on. I don't think it should say reconstruction, should it?
Oh, I may have just put the wrong, the,
The rehabilitation, it should read. Okay, so that's how we'll read it.
this is what was provided by bond council, reconstruction of the existing village water
Okay,
tank
all right, there you go.
and replacement of the clear well.
All right, that's good. Yep, okay. Authorized bond resolution for the construction of the existing Bowers Street water tower and the replacement of the clear well at the water treatment plant, and the issuance of $8.5 million in serial bonds.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Broadbent, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Peets. I know some people were worried about seeing that the iconic water tower taken down. It's going to be reconditioned. It's not coming down. It was actually cheaper to redo it. Might be painted a different color, but it's still going to be there. We'll talk about that later.
You got a really good.
Believe it or not,
Pink?
our engineers are telling us that because of the, correct me if I'm wrong, because of the line of latitude that we are at,
No, that's not it, it's the UV.
or the UV,
Yeah, a flat white is the best color for a water.
flat white is what we'd like us to go to.
No emblems? Can't put that one on there.
Oh, we can put them.
Put that on.
So anyway, it's a roll call vote. Trustee Peets,
Aye.
trustee Broadbent,
Aye.
trustee McGowan,
Aye.
trustee Simpson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Next up, a proposed resolution to authorize submission of engineering planning grant application for Sarah Lane and Highland Ave sewer study. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Simpson, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Peets. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's like where they meet, we want to fix that.
So these two areas have problems with wet weather events, have a lot of infiltration in the sewer system that affects residents.
Especially down at that.
Yeah, so we're trying to look a way to mitigate that problem for them.
This too is a roll call vote. Trustee Peets,
Aye.
trustee Broadbent,
Aye.
trustee McGowan.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Next up, need a motion for the authorization to advertise bids for the water treatment plant materials.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Peets, second. Second by trustee Broadbent. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next up, need to establish a public hearing to amend chapter 230 for the sewers. I'll explain it in a second.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Simpson, second.
Second.
Second by trustee McGowan. For this one, and really the next one, I believe it's we want, just the flat rate we talked about.
So what I'd like to do is, if we have a situation where we need to repair or replace someone's water or sewer lateral, the current process is that we charge them 1/2 time and materials for the job. We work off an estimate created by one of the foremen. I'd like to give the people a cost of 100% of the cost of the piping material, because that becomes part of the property. And I'd like to introduce
was fine with 1,500, not to exceed 1,500.
Because I gotta put it in the legal notes.
It's up for discussion, whatever we're looking to do.
Remember, he sent this to us a few months ago, actually, and I was fine with 1,500,
Right.
not to exceed 1,500. You still good with that, Steve?
Yeah, and then you have the cost of materials, which would range, 200 to 400 typically, so it'd be, about a $2,000 job.
Okay.
I think that's considerably cheaper than
It is.
paving it by hand.
Well, also it's cheaper than, isn't it, Steve, cheaper than what we had before?
It can be, it could be,
Could,
it could be, more than likely it would be,
right,
okay? But, the big
it's an
thing.
advantage for the village.
Yeah, the big thing is, it's much easier on the foreman and the staff to tell somebody it's gonna cost you $1,650, as opposed to, it's gonna cost you one half of time, materials, and equipment. And we roll up with very large pieces of equipment, and people, get pretty nervous about what the bill will be.
Right.
It's kind of by the hour. It's like make it more appeasing for the people.
So entertain a motion to establish this public hearing at 5:31 on June 16th. Moved by trustee Pete's, second? Second. Second by trustee Simpson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next up, discussion to establish a public hearing to amend chapter 290, water, same thing. This would be at 5:32 on the 16th of June. So moved by trustee Simpson, second by trustee Pete's. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Voucher warrants.
Entertain a motion to approve the voucher warrants that were signed by Mayor Caitlin, trustee Rodman, and myself.
Moved by trustee Pete's, second.
Second?
Second by trustee Burke. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And we have our monthly reports from the firefighters, code, and police, and Explore Massena. Any communications or correspondence, please?
So we have our Brownfield Opportunity Area kickoff meeting with the Project Advisory Committee, on Thursday. Instead of calling it BOA or Brownfield Opportunity Area, and pursuant to the terms of the grant agreement, it will be called Massena in Motion. And there already is a web page or a dedicated page on our website. I think it's under local government, village government, on there that we will continuously upgrade or keep up to date. And we're also aiming for the downtown revitalization initiative, streetscape, and Riverwalk enhancements, the first public meeting, the end of June, the mid or end of June. That'll be advertised well in advance. We have a couple of technical things that we need to clear up prior to the meeting, but it's very exciting. There's a lot of stuff going on. I have schematic drawings and boundary surveys done. It's gonna be transformative, so, or transformational.
Any closing public comments? No, okay. I do have a need for executive session to discuss possible sale of a village-owned property.